Hello everybody and welcome back here to our Weymouth series. It is our 70th episode of this series. I'm absolutely loving this series and this team. We are here about to kick off our 8th season of this series as well. If you have not seen our last episode, go ahead and click on that I button in the upper right hand corner and check out our last video so you can catch up on what happened last season. Now today we will be kicking off our very first season in the Premier League, and we will be taking on Tottenham Hotspur away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London in front of a sold out crowd. 62,000 people will be packed into the stadium today. What a first matchup we get in the Premier League. It's going to be a wonderful spectacle, and everyone associated with Weymouth can be extremely proud and will be looking on to this match with a ton of excitement. Before we do jump into the game though, let's go ahead and check out the players that have joined the club and the players that have left the club this past season. Starting off with the players that have joined the club, the first player that joined us is a 22-year-old Austrian left back, Christian Marsiler. He joined us from French side Guingamp for $1.4 million. So yes, we actually spent money on a player. It has been a bit of a rarity in this series so far. But hey, we got that Premier League money now, so we can start throwing cash around. Just kidding, we gotta be smart. But Christian has very good mental and physical attributes already. 19 determination and 17 decisions. Absolutely loving those two attributes. His technical ability, a little bit lacking at the moment, but 22 years old and a ton of potential. I'm excited to see what Christian develops into with his time here with the Terras. He is our first choice left back, so he's going to get a lot of experience this season, which can only help him develop as a young player. He has already made 98 professional appearances in his career, and he has 15 under-21 appearances for the Austrian national team. So he comes in with a decent amount of experience as a young 22-year-old. Very excited to see what he can do for us this season. Next up, we have another young fullback. This time it is a 20-year-old Italian right back, Ferdinando Oh, who joins us after being released by Roma. Very, very excited about Ferdinando. He is already more polished than Christian, and like Christian, he will be a starting fullback for us. He did spend one season out on loan to Italian side Pescara, where he made 37 appearances and managed to get a goal along the way. And on top of that, he made 15 under-21 appearances for the Italian national team. So another player that comes in with at least some experience. So that is always nice to get a young player that at least has some experience. Our next two players are two younger players that are not quite first team players at the moment. First up is 18-year-old Welsh striker Roach, who was released by Manchester City. He has very good physical attributes that I am a fan of. 16 acceleration, 15 agility, and 14 pace. Very, very nice. And he has good mental attributes with 17 determination and 17 teamwork. Two very nice attributes to have, which will help him develop as a young player. And he has some good technical ability in the right places. I wouldn't be surprised if Roach ends up getting some playing time this season. And another 18-year-old Welsh player released by Manchester City. This is Roscoe, who is a central midfielder. Neil will definitely be getting playing time for us this season. I very much like what I see in Neil. He has 16 first touch, 17 passing, and 16 technique. Absolutely wonderful technical ability already at 18 years old. His mentals are very decent as well. Physical, lacking in a couple key areas. But at 18 years old, he is very, very talented. And as I mentioned, he will definitely be getting some playing time for us this season. So I'm very excited to see what Neil Roscoe develops into with his time here at the Terras. Now, our final 3 players are all first teamers. 2 of them have a tremendous amount of experience. The first one is Philippe Andersson. And yes, it is that Philippe Andersson, the Brazilian winger who last played for West Ham United. He is now 33 years old, so definitely on the tail end of his career, but he still has a very good amount of ability. His technical and mentals are still top quality. His physicals have definitely declined, and he does have 10 stamina, which is pretty low for a Premier League player, especially a winger, but he will do a job for us this year. A ton of experience, and he has Premier League experience, which will help the club this season. We do have him signed up for just 1 year. At 33 years old, I wasn't trying to get stuck with a aging player on a massive contract, and he is making $3.27 million this year, which is basically as much as our total wage budget was last season. So getting him on that 1 year deal was smart for us, and it works out for him because he is a player that wanted to get one last chance at the Premier League. So beneficial to both club and player. Now, next up is Ian Fitzgerald, who joins us on loan this season from Tottenham, who of course we are playing today, so unfortunately he is not able to be in the team as he cannot play against his parent club. So that is unfortunate, but Ian is a 21-year-old center back and has some very, very good attributes already. He is our top-rated center back at the moment, so it is unfortunate that he's not able to play today, but Ian joins a very young back line, so we're going to need Ian to perform well this season, and, well, everyone really needs to perform well. It's going to be tough on our young defensive unit, but we got some real talent out there. Hopefully they are able to cope with it and learn and develop into some very good players with us this season. The final player that joins us is Helder Costa, 32-year-old Portuguese winger. A ton of experience joining through the player. Again, a player that has Premier League experience. Like Philippe Andersson, he is on a 1 year contract and is making a pretty good amount of money, $2.29 million this year. Again, a player that has good technical and mental ability still. His physicals have declined and will continue to decline throughout the season. But hopefully, him and Felipe are able to put in good performances throughout the season and are able to help our younger players, help them develop, teach them a thing or two about professional football and the Premier League. That is why I brought in these players. For their ability and their experience, they're going to be key players for us this season. Hopefully with the additions that we have made, we're able to put in a good fight this season and somehow find a way to stay in the Premier League. It's definitely going to be tough, I am well aware of that, but I'm very excited about the players that we have been able to get to the club this season. We do have 3 players out on loan. They're all younger players that are getting some valuable game time, and perhaps in the future we'll be able to challenge for a first team spot. We do have one player that has left the club that is worth noting. Nnamdi Afeber has been released by the club after spending the past 6 seasons here. During his time, he made 166 appearances, managed to get 2 goals from his defensive midfield spot. Nnamdi was a key player for many, many seasons here with Weymouth, and he will forever be a Terra and will always hold a special place in our hearts. I love you. As he helped us to 4 different promotions during his 6 years with the club. Absolutely wonderful servant he was with Weymouth, and hopefully he does get picked up by a team who will give him game time. He is definitely a good enough player for a League One team, possibly a lower championship level team as well. He is still only 26 years old, so he is in the prime of his career. Someone surely has to pick him up. He is currently wanted by Burton. He would be a good fit for them, no doubt about it. Hopefully they do end up pulling the trigger and signing him up. So that is all the transfer news we have to go over. The transfer window has closed, so we won't be able to purchase or loan in any more players. We can still sell players, and I'm pretty positive we can still sign players on free transfers. So we'll keep our eyes open for any potential free signings that we can get. But switching over here to our schedule view, you can see that we had a very successful pre-season. Notable performances is a 2-0 victory over Sporting Club de Portugal. Philippe Andersson and Anwar El Ghazi got the 2 goals in that game. Very happy with that performance with a pretty good Sporting team. Admittedly, I don't know how strong of a team they played against us. It could have been their reserves. I have no idea, to be honest. But either way, very happy with that. We did end up getting a draw against another Portuguese team, Estrela Praia. Pretty sure I just absolutely butchered that name, but anyway, we did get a draw against them. And then the rest of our preseason ended up in victories. 3 against English teams and 2 against Belgian teams. So a very good preseason for the Terras. Now the Premier League season preview, we are of course, surprise, predicted to come dead last. I know, big shocker there, right guys? But yes, the media is right. We are going to have our toughest season to date. And we have to be ready for a very hard season, one that realistically could end up coming down to the last couple games. So every match is going to be crucial. We need to make sure we put in our best performance every single game. We can't afford to throw away points with silly late game goals like we so very much love to do here. Another thing worth noting is we will be playing the first couple months at Vitality Stadium as we await our new stadium to be completed. Because we got promoted, they ended up having to add more seating to our new stadium to meet the minimum requirements of the Premier League. That is why our move to the new stadium ended up getting delayed. But the good news is, because of that, we will be playing the first couple of months in a 16,000 capacity stadium, so we could get some very nice attendances at our games. But without further ado, that is all we have to go over before we jump into this match. Now, because of some injuries and the fact that Fitzgerald is not able to play today, Joshua Muke will be starting at center back today. Matland has a tight groin, so we're not going to even risk that. He will be on the bench today and can come in if needed. Mars Eiler and Rufo both starting at our fullbacks. We have our same starting midfield from last season: Duarte, Stockbridge, and Payne. And then we have our 2 new wingers, Philippe Andersson and Costa, starting today, and Ryan Edmondson leads the line for us this season once again. On the bench, we have Ellis Sims, Sam Greenwood, Michael Matland, Charlie Lakin, Neil Roscoe, Josh Earl, and Vinicius Monteiro. El Ghazi is out injured, so that is why Monteiro is on the bench today. Once El Ghazi returns from the injury, he will be taking that spot on the bench. But let's go ahead and jump into this game, kicking off the Premier League away at Tottenham Hotspur. Let's do this. The players are out and we are underway here, and it is a highlight straight from the kickoff, and we turn it over. This could be a very bad start for the Terras. Big save by Dahlberg, but it falls right to one of their players, and they score 16 seconds into the game. Wow, what a nightmare start for the Terras. Welcome to the Premier League, huh? Wow. Things literally could not have got off to a worse start. Yikes. We do have a highlight here, and it is us on the ball. Can we actually pass it to ourselves this time? We end up having to play it all the way back to Dahlberg, who then boots it forward, and it is intercepted. We almost won it back, but we turn it right back over. Let's not go down too. Thankfully, Dahlberg is there. It is out for a corner, so the danger is not over. We need to defend this. Good header out by Muke, but Tottenham pick up the ball, and they do get called for offsides eventually. But I need to see more from the Terras. Things are not looking good for us at the moment. Can we try and create something here before halftime? Instead, it's a free kick for Tottenham in a dangerous position. And it is 2-0 to Tottenham. 43 minutes gone. Didn't want to concede again before halftime. But we do. Yeah. And that is halftime. Down by 2. Need to put in a better second half performance. See if we're able to do that here. Big second half needed from the Terras. It's going to take a lot of work for us to get anything out of this, but we have a free kick early on. We're not able to capitalize on it, and we might get counterattacked here. This is very dangerous. The highlight's still going on, and it's 3-0. Harry Kane's shot is blocked, and it unfortunately falls right to the Tottenham player, who easily slots that past Dahlberg. 3-0 to Tottenham. Yeah, not good. This is exactly what I was talking about. It's going to be a tough season for us, and we are experiencing that here early on against Tottenham. But we're going to make our first substitution here. Sam Greenwood will come on for Costa, and Josh Earl for Christian Marseiler, who is not looking good. He's on a yellow card and a 6.1. Costa also is not doing good, a 6.2. So, disappointing debut for both of those players. Let's see if their replacements can do any better. We have a highlight here. It's going to be a corner for the Terras. Duarte whips it in. Oh, what? Les Payne rattles it off the crossbar, and we can't follow up that rebound. Wow. Really should have gotten on the score sheet there. Very disappointing with that. We're going to make our final substitution here. We're going to bring on Neil Roscoe for Les Payne. Might as well give the youngster a debut and some playing time. We got nothing else going for us at the moment. Just over 10 minutes left to play now. Can we somehow find a late goal in this? We do have a corner. Duarte whips it in. James McKenna. Let's go. We get our first ever Premier League goal. It's only a consolation goal, but we didn't get shut out. Let's go. Come on. And that's another highlight. Can we win this back? No, this is not good. We could be conceding a fourth goal. Thankfully, it was a very tame shot in the end, and I think the game will end up being 3-1. And it does end up being 3-1. The full-time whistle is blown. So Tottenham welcomed us into the Premier League with a nice little beatdown. So that just shows how much hard work it's going to be to keep us up this season. And so there we have it. We currently sit in 19th position after that loss against Tottenham. But hey, that's going to be one of our toughest opponents this season. So at least we got that out of the way early on. And we did end up scoring against them, so we got a positive out of that match. And it definitely could have ended up much worse than 3-1. But that is where we're going to end off this episode today. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you leave the video a like down below. And if you're new around here and haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos here on the channel. And until next time, it's been your Boyd147.